Sovs.
Oi oi, you shiny metal magpies. Welcome back to Brits and Sovs, the only channel where silver's never second place and history always comes with a punchline. Now, before we get stuck in, here's your joke of the day. What do you call a man who hoards silver, wears cowboy boots, and owes every bank in New York? Brokeback bullion. Right, kettle's on, let's do this. Today we're going full tinfoil hat meets history lesson, the legendary tale of the Hunt brothers. Not to be confused with ghost hunters, bargain hunters or Jeremy Hunt. These lads tried to buy up every ounce of silver on the planet and almost pulled it off. Picture the scene. It's the late 1970s. Bell-bottoms, cigarette ashtrays on every desk, Ford Capri on every corner. The UK's just voted in Margaret Thatcher, handbags swinging and inflation slaying. And across the pond, you've got Jimmy Carter, knee-deep in oil shocks and hostage crisis, trying to stop the dollar crumbling faster than your nan's biscuits. Enter Nelson Bunker Hunt and his brother Herbert. Rich? Mate, these two were minted. Their dad, H.L. Hunt, made a fortune in Texas oil, proper dynasty stuff. But instead of sticking to the oily stuff, the boys decided silver was the way to go. Why? Because gold was still tightly regulated back then and the dollar was looking ropey. Inflation was chewing through paper money like a hungry Jack Russell on a Greggs bag. So they turned to silver, the poor man's gold, but with rich man ambition. And when I say they bought silver, I don't mean a few Britannias and a kilo bar in a sock drawer. Nah, they went berserk. They hoovered up futures contracts, took delivery of physical bars, chartered jumbo jets to fly the stuff to Swiss vaults, and even set up offshore companies like International Metals Investment to stash their stash. They ended up controlling around 100 million ounces, about a third of the global supply outside of government hands. That's not stacking, that's world domination, Dave style. Silver soared from around $6 an ounce in early 1979 to nearly $50 an ounce by January 1980. That's over 700%, faster than a bricklaying curry through your intestines. Everyone jumped in. Your uncle was flogging his cufflinks. Tiffany's jewellers were fuming. Grandma's teapot set suddenly looked like an early retirement plan. The Hunt brothers were kings. On paper, they were worth billions. Emphasis on paper. But there was one problem. They weren't using their own money. They were borrowing, leveraged up to their cowboy hats, mortgaging everything to keep buying silver. It was like trying to climb Everest by piling up IOUs. And when the comics saw what was going on, they got twitchy. In came Silver Rule 7. Margin requirements got hiked. Contract limits were slapped on, and suddenly the Hunts had to come up with cold hard cash they didn't have. Then came the collapse. March 27, 1980, Silver Thursday. Silver crashed to $10.80. Margin calls started flying faster than darts at a pub lock-in. The Hunts defaulted on a $100 million loan. The entire financial system wobbled. The Fed had to step in. That's right, Carter's boys had to coordinate a $1.1 billion bailout to stop the dominoes from falling. Wall Street, bullion dealers, brokers. They were all staring into the abyss with nothing but a flickering calculator and a half-drunk scotch. By the late 80s, the Hunt brothers were skint, banned from commodities trading. Nelson got slapped with a $10 million fine. Herbert just about clawed his way back into oil money decades later. Nelson, he spent his last years breeding horses and dodging creditors. And what did Maggie Thatcher make of all this? Well, she was busy dismantling trade unions and privatising half the country. But even she must have raised an eyebrow when two cowboys nearly took down the global economy with a few silver bars and a dream. Now here's the juicy bit. What if someone tried this again today? Imagine a hedge fund, a billionaire crypto bro, or even a Reddit mob start scooping up physical silver. ETFs get drained, mints run dry, dealers slap £30 premiums on 1 ounce coins, spot price shoots past £50, £60, even £100. The paper market buckles, shorts get margin called, physical delivery can't keep up. People start queuing at pawn shops like it's Black Friday. Twitter melts down. Silver stackers start acting like royalty, polishing their bars and quoting 1980 price charts at anyone who will listen. Governments get twitchy. Keir Starmer calls it market instability. Donald Trump holds a press conference next to a stack of fake silver bars made out of foam. COMEX freezes trades. Reddit cheers. Dealers panic. The Royal Mint shuts down for a week because Sandra in packaging fainted from stress. Your average bloke on the street starts Googling how to test if my wedding ring is silver. And the ripple effect, enormous. Silver's not just a precious metal, it's industrial. Solar panels, batteries, electronics. If silver gets silly, so does everything it's in. Inflation ticks up, supply chains get bumpy, central banks scratch their heads. The financial press starts throwing words like historic event, volatility spike, and oh God, not again. You'd have YouTubers dropping silver conspiracy vids every hour. Instagram influencers flogging silver skincare, claiming it reflects the cost of living. And over at the Bank of England, someone named Clive's panicking because the vault's looking like the back of a Greggs, empty shelves and stale promises. Truth is, the Hunt saga wasn't just about greed. It was about power, fear, and a system that didn't know how to handle someone, going all in on the one thing no one else took seriously. Today, with tighter controls, faster trades and more eyes on the market, pulling off a Hunt Brothers 2.0 would be harder, but not impossible. And if it ever happens, you'll want to be the one holding the metal, not the paper. Anyway, I'd love to keep yakking about silver conspiracies and Texan tycoons, but the missus has just walked in. Apparently I've been using the guest room as a coin photography studio, and now her aunt's coming to stay, and there's a kilo bar where the pillow should be. So I'm off before I get minted into a commemorative medallion called Last Known Fool with a Tripod. Smash that like button like it's 1980, and you've just had a margin call. Drop a comment if you'd have backed the Hunts or just sold them your nan's gravy boat. And don't forget to subscribe, because round here the coins are shiny, but the stories are pure gold. Stack high, stay golden, and remember, if anyone tells you silver's boring, just say, mate, it nearly took down Wall Street.